Hey everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. I was in Walmart the other day and I found this. This is Jazzware's Wicked Cool Toys, the Spartan Collection Halo Jun. This is my guy. This is probably the one that I was looking forward to the most even before Noble 6 of the Noble team. This is Jun. This is the Sniper, the Ranger, Airborne, whatever you want to call him. He has the big gun. I love this guy. I loved this character in the game of Reach. I actually modeled my Noble 6 after him a lot. He has the same helmet. He has a lot of the same armor pieces. Not because I was trying to make Jun, but just because the type of character, the type of soldier that he was in the game, that's typically the type that I play in the game or even in role-playing games, like a Ranger, Recon, definitely the Sniper. So I'm really excited that they came out with Jun. And with Jun out now, I'm pretty sure that means there's only... yeah, I think there's only 2 more from Noble Team that we're waiting on. So, what we have here is, as I said, the Jazzware's Wicked Cool Toys Spartan Collection. It's the standard box that we've come to know and love. Very Spartan look to it. Once again, no pun intended, with the big window here so you can see everything that it comes with. The figure, his accessories, the stack of hands that he has over here. Up top, just dark with the UNSC logo, or the UNSC initials tampoed on it. On the side, just dark green again, UNSC symbol on the bottom. Pretty promotional shot of Jun up top. On the back, we have more promotional shots. We have more figures from the line, including Master Chief from Halo 2, which we have seen. Spartan Enigma, which I've seen but I haven't picked up yet. The Infinity... Halo Infinite Master Chief that I'm still waiting on. I gotta get that 2-pack. I think I'm giving up on my pre-order at the store and just ordering it online. And then Spartan Yoori, who I haven't seen yet, but I have a feeling I will, and I'm kind of looking forward to that one. But I just love... look at him with the sniper rifle. He has the bullets on the shoulder. And then on this side, UNSC tampoed into the window, so that you can get a look at him from the side. And it looks like he has his backpack too. That's cool. So, I'm excited about this one. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get this open, and we will take a look at Jazzware's Wicked Cool Toys Spartan Collection Jun. Okay, now that we got Jun out of the packaging, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the tape measure to him, as we always do, and we see that putting the tape measure to him, he comes in to the top of his head, just at 7 inches tall, which puts him about on par with the rest of Spartan Collection, or I'm sorry, with the rest of Noble Team. And you'll see why in a second once we take a look at the sculpt. But first, let's get into the articulation. Alright, starting at the top like we always do. The head will do a full 360, but not comfortably. As a matter of fact, if you try and turn it any more past this, it might want to pop off because it's hitting the hood, the sort of like the ghillie piece of his suit right here. He can look up pretty decently. He can look down okay. There's no side to side, no tilt. The arms will come up way past 90, do a full 360 spin. There's no butterfly joint on this one. Jun has no butterfly joint, but he has a bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows, They give him some decent travel. The armor is a little bulky, so he can't do a full fold, full straight up and down. His hands swivel, and these ones pivot in and out. As a matter of fact, all of the hands that he comes with that you're about to see all pivot in and out. He has, first of all, this one does not do nearly as well as this one does. As you can see, this one comes up way past 90. This one gets stopped right here because of the sheath of his knife. And because the knife is removable, this is a solid sheath, so it doesn't bend out of the way. So this arm will only come up to just under 90. This arm will go up past 90. He has this cut right in here like all of the Spartan Collection do. He can't do a waist twist, especially because he has this added piece back here, this backpack. There's absolutely no crunch. There's no twist at the waist. And it doesn't even seem like there's any side to side. So, unfortunately, our lone scout, our sniper, has some of the most restrictive articulation out of the Noble line. The legs twist in very well. Twist out, not so much, unfortunately. No thigh cut, just that hip twist. The legs will come out to the side. Legs will go forward. Legs will go back. We have double jointed knees, which, as we can see with all the Spartan line, just make this huge flat gap right in there. Like, there's nothing natural about that. But we've seen that in all the Spartans, so that shouldn't take us by surprise. Ankles go back. Ankles go forward. Forward facing pin for some rocker. And toe articulation. Now, taking a look at the sculpt and the paint app on Jun, you can see that there is a lot of reuse between him and Noble 6. You can see the chest pieces are basically the same, except this has a little bit more sculpted on, and this removed the knife sheath and put it on his shoulder. It's basically the same knife sheath. It's basically the same knife. All right. The arms are the same. The wrists are the same. The hands are basically the same. Everything from the torso down, from the crotch down, is absolutely the same, except for he has a pouch. Jun has a pouch right here, whereas Noble 6 just has his open leg. Okay, but other than that, you can see that these are all pretty much basically the same figure. Jun has some extra add-ons that we'll take a look at that make him stand out, like this sort of ghillie suit hood right here that unfortunately we never even saw him use in the game. It would have been cool to get some shots of him with that thing up. His backpack on back. He has a shoulder strap that's holding some sniper rounds right there. Like I said, he has a sheath on this side, and he has some add-ons on the chest piece as well. And then he has his pouch down here. Now, this over here, he does have this piece that can pull off, and flip, turn around, and flip, turn around, fit it back in there, and then you have this peg that you can mount his pistol to, which we'll take a look at the pistol in a second. Let's put that back so I don't break that tab or break that stem. Now, as far as the paint goes, we missed some spots here on his bullets. So the orange paint is coming off the tip of the bullet, and you can see the gold paint coming through. Also, the face sculpt for Jun isn't bad. This is very much what he looked like in the game, but the paint app is very soft, very toyetic, very just, I don't know, it doesn't stand out, it doesn't pop, it's just, like I said, soft. I think the paint for the body is fantastic. The white stripe around his legs, the blue stripes around his arm. One thing that I find interesting is that with Jun, there is a lot more solid paint app than there are on some of the other figures. Like even with Noble 6 here, you can see that there is some paint rub, some paint wear. Like this guy has seen, Noble 6 has seen some action. Whereas Jun, he doesn't have nearly as many scrapes. And I think that's to signify that he's always like in the back. He's always like in the tree line. He's sniping. He never really engages with the enemy directly. That's a nice touch. I like that. Even down here on the legs, they're still fairly clean. Like he has a little bit of scrape right there. And that's really about it. Past that, take a look at his bag, the detail on his bag. Past that, I do like it. Like the sculpt looks good. The paint apps leave something to be desired, especially with his face. But I also really dig like him having his backpack back here. The thing that upsets me about this is that you saw the leg piece will flip for his pistol, as we've seen with other Spartan collections, but there's nothing on the back. Like, I thought maybe this piece would pop out and flip around, and then that would have a stem on it so you could put the sniper rifle on his back. But there's really no place to mount it, so he's always just going to have to be carrying it. There's no piece that pops up and flips around to have a stem to carry the sniper rifle, unfortunately. And speaking of the sniper rifle, here we have not only the weapon of choice of Jun, but of myself as well, the S7 sniper rifle. The sculpting is pretty decent, the coloring is pretty decent. Once again, I feel like this could benefit from a little bit more sharper paint apps. But this is also a very, very soft rubber, and we've seen that with the Spartan collection before. And see, I just feel like that with this thin barrel and this heavy suppressor up here, that eventually the nose is going to start to dip. The tripod legs, because it was smacked together like this in the case, the bipod legs, sorry, bipod, not tripod, the bipod legs need to be spread out so you can actually like stand it. They keep wanting to fold in. I'm sure with time that'll widen, but he has the handle up here. The bipod legs do come up if you want to get them out of the way. But when you look at it, and we'll see photos of it in his hand towards the end, but when you look at it, I feel like the sniper rifle is too small. Like it needs to be longer, it needs to be bigger, it needs to be beefier. This is a 50 cal. I always just pictured that it was bigger, like that's only about the size of his leg. I feel like it should be coming up to about here, up to his shoulder, a little bit past. I don't know. I like the sculpt of it. I like the look of it. I love the sniper rifle in the game. Like I said, it is my weapon of choice. But this could be more impressive, I feel. In addition to the sniper rifle, like most of the Spartans in the Spartan collection, he comes with the Magnum. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It has the built-in, I believe that's supposed to be a suppressor. It's a gas suppressor, I think, that's built into the front. And he has the paint stripe going over top of it. I think just a little something to make it stand out so it doesn't look like all of the other Magnums. But in essence, it is all of the other Magnums. And of course, what would Jun be without his helmet, his sniper helmet? And I do love this helmet. Like I said, this is my helmet of choice for Noble 6 whenever I'm playing Reach. Now, we can put the helmet on him. We've seen this before. You just take this, you pop the head off. It's a very rubbery head, by the way. You pop the head off, and then, see that? There's no pop. It just sits there. Like, you can still get him to look down. You can still get him to look up. He can still do, the whole look around. But it's not held on there. It's very disappointing. And if you look in there and you look inside the headpiece, you can see that the hole on the helmet is much bigger than the hole in the headpiece. And that is really disappointing. And that could just be mine. It could just be mine. You could get this and it'll be fine. And maybe all I have to do is fill that with some blue tack or some super glue. But I'm really disappointed that that helmet is so loose and doesn't get a satisfying pop on there. And one other accessory that he does come with that I believe I've shown you already is that the knife on his arm does come out. It's like the knife for Noble 6. Same sculpt, same sheath. Just wanted to mention that he does have at least one more weapon on him. Just out of the box, Jun comes with these sort of grippy hands with a finger pointing out. So you can use it for either a pointing finger or you can use it for a gun grip finger with his finger off the trigger. He also comes with a pair of standard gripping hands that unfortunately you can't use for trigger fingers because the trigger finger isn't cut. I might have to cut it like I did with Emil just so that he can have sort of like the sniper rifle in his hand with his finger on the trigger. Jun also comes with a pair of clenched fists for knocking out the elites. And last but not least, he does come with his unique two-finger point hand or two-finger salute hand. Now, one thing that's kind of annoying about his hands, and I didn't realize this until just now, here we have one of his pointy finger grip hands with finger off the trigger, and here we have one of his gripping hands that I'm going to have to cut so that he can get his finger around the trigger for the sniper rifle. But we take the knife out of the sheath here, and you can see that it fits fairly well into that hand with the finger sticking out. But then we have the actual gripping hand, and it doesn't stay. The grip hand is too big, that the knife doesn't really stay in there securely. He doesn't have a good grip. Of course, it's going to make a liar out of me now. But you can see that, right? That it's just not a really good grip, a solid grip for the knife in the grip hand, which is kind of annoying because that means really the only thing these hands are good for now is holding the Magnum. And now for size comparison, here he is with Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Trooper and Snake Eyes. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I really feel like the Spartan collection fits in scale-wise with the G.I. Joe figures, that like this is how tall the Spartans should be compared to regular people. So this would fit in real well, and now I really want Low Light to team him and Lowlight up together. Here he is with McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman from Detective Comics 1000 and Gotham Knights Red Hood. Here they are with Lanyard Toys, City Hunter Predator, and Xenomorph Drone. I always like that the Predators are still a little bit taller than the Spartans. And finally, here he is with fellow Spartans from the Spartan Collection, Master Chief from Halo 2, and Cat. I'm not putting all of Noble Team together until I have all of Noble Team together. So as I've said before, I can't really recommend these to anybody except me and people like me. I've told you before, I've ranted before about why I love these figures so much, why I love Halo so much, what my attachment to the game, to the franchise, to the property is. And that hasn't changed, especially with Jun. Jun was the one that I modeled my Noble 6 after. Jun was the one that if I was actually on Noble Team, he's the one I would have been. The Recon, the Sniper, the Intelligence, him and Cat. And I love that we finally have him in plastic form. Yes, the Spartan Collection has its flaws. That has not changed. That definitely has not changed. And yes, Jun has flaws of his own. Most of them are minor, things like the paint app being a little smudged here and there. I even found a hand that had some of the paint rubbed off on the thumb, but you can't really see it because it's the thumb. So, like I said, that's minor things. Not being able to holster the rifle, that's kind of a bummer, but he's a sniper, it's a sniper rifle, he's going to be holding it anyway. My biggest issue is the helmet, the fact that it doesn't pop on there. And as I said, that could be mine. You could get this one and not have any problems. But I do at least like that it can sit on his neck without any problems. You can still get poses out of him. It still kind of is a tight fit. It just doesn't pop. It's also kind of annoying that like he can't look up and he doesn't have an ab crunch so that he can't get his body up. So that means he can't really get into any low to the ground, prone, sniping positions. And for a sniper, you kind of want him to be able to do that. So, I don't know. It could have been better, but I don't feel like it's completely ruined the figure for me. It's just disappointed me a little bit. And keep in mind that the Spartan Collection is still $20 when we are seeing prices on action figures climb and climb and climb. At least Jun was still $20. Like, I think today, as of the time of this recording, they just released the next wave for Spider-Man, and those figures are between anywhere from $30 and $35. It's getting to be an expensive hobby, guys. But I digress. I'm excited to have another figure for Noble Collection. I'm excited to have another named Spartan. I'm excited to have another Spartan that you can take his helmet off of. So, like I said, I'm excited about this figure. I can't really recommend him because I know what his flaws are, I know what his limitations are, but I just love that I have him. And I really need Hasbro to bring out Lowlight now so that I can team Jun and Lowlight up together on my shelf. That's what I have for you today. There is more coming down the line. There's going to be a lot of DC Multiverse coming down the line. Let me just warn you about that. So until we take a look at that, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.